Hi, this is Bio 12 Lab, and we're doing comparative anatomy of a frog and a rat. My name is Manmeet Sandhar.
My name is Paola Nunez.
I'm Andrea Parada.
I'm Shania Jimenez.
And I'm Deisy Miranda.
So the grass frog's taxonomic name is Ranifereri. The kingdom is Animalia. The phylum is Chordata. The class is Amphibia. The order is Andrea. The family is Ranidae. The genus is Lithobates, and the species is Alfereri or Lithosfereri. The ecological habitat of the Ranifereri is the lowland and seasonal tropical forests of parts of Central America like Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. The biotic factors are trees, plants, small and large animals, birds, and insects. The abiotic factors are water, pH level, rainy and temperate forest temperature, nutrient-rich topsoil from the trees, shade level from the many layers of vegetation. The food web, they are primary consumers as they feed on insects, worms, plants, algae, and other small invertebrates. This keeps their prey species from overpopulation that could create a negative impact on the ecosystem. They're prey for predators like birds, snakes, small and large mammals, fish, and other larger frogs, helping sustain the population for predator species. The mating patterns and behaviors are that frogs reproduce sexually by amplexus through external fertilization, where a female frog releases her eggs in the water and the male frog releases sperm cells that fertilize the eggs. During mating season, male frogs call out to female frogs of the same species to their location through their vocal sacs. Mating season occurs in spring in temperate climates or year-round in rainforest environments.
So for the rat, the taxonomic names for the rat is the genus Rattus. The kingdom is Animalia. Phylum is Chordata. Class is Mammalia. Order is Rodentia, and family is Muridae. Genus is Rattus, and species present is R. norvegicus. I don't know. The food web for rats are primary consumers in the food chain. Rats contribute to the food web by converting plant material into a form that other animals can easily consume. Ecological habitat. Rats can be found in a variety of habitats, but different species of rats can also be found in woods, forests, and fields. The biotic factors are trees and plants. The abiotic factors are water, shelter, and climate conditions. Mating patterns and behaviors of the species. During estrus, multiple paternity is common and sexually receptive female rats typically copulate with multiple males.
The respiratory system of the frog. The skin, the lining of the mouth, and the lungs are the three respiratory surfaces that the frog needs in order to exchange gas from its environment. The frog employs all three of these surfaces to breathe. Um, each and every one of the frog respiratory processes take place via the skin when it's totally immersed. I labeled the mouth, trachea, and lung, and on the top is more a diagram of a more detailed version of the respiratory system of the frog. Respiratory system of the rat. There are three components that make up the lower respiratory system: the trachea, the bronchi, and the lungs. The lungs of the rat are much like the lungs of a human, are located in the chest cavity of each side of the heart. The left lung of the rat has one lobe, while the right lung has four lobes. Um, I I squared the general area of the respiratory system of the rat, and the white image is a more detailed version of the respiratory system of the rat.
So then there's the excretory system of the frog, which consists of kidneys and bladder. For the frogs have a pair of kidneys located towards the dorsal side of the body. These kidneys filter waste products such as urea, excess salts, and water from the blood to form urine. And while dissecting the the frog, the kidneys were hard to identify, but they were below all the other organs. And then we have the bladder or urinary bladder. In frogs, the urinary bladder can be found in the pelvic area, positioned close to the lower side of the body cavity, often beneath both the digestive and reproductive organs. Functioning as a temporary storage area, it holds urine until it is discharged from the body through the cloaca. And then we have the excretory system of the rat, which also consists of kidneys and urinary bladder. So in the rat, kidneys are bean-shaped organs located in the abdominal cavity, one on each side of the spine. They filter waste products, excess ions, and water from the bloodstream to form urine. The urine then moves into the ureters. And then we have the urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is a muscular sac located in the pelvic cavity. It stores urine until it is expelled from the body.
Then we have the digestive systems. For both the rat and the frog, they start in the mouth and travel down the esophagus. But for the rat, the stomach stores and mixes with enzymes that begins digestion. In the frog, this is placed on the left side of the body, and the mesentery, that is also known as mesogaster, connected to the dorsal side of the body. There's also the small intestine, which is basically where most of the digestion occurs and most of the nutrients are absorbed. The gallbladder also aids with this and it stores bile. And the duodenum, it's like a U shape that aids the stomach, and it's the first part of the small intestine that further absorbs nutrients. As I said before, the rat also begins with the mouth and then down the esophagus. And just like the frog, it receives the food and releases enzymes that begin digestion. The small intestine also absorbs nutrients. And for the rat, the large intestine absorbs the water of undigested food and then excrete the waste products. And just like the frog, the gallbladder aids the small intestines with digestion and stores bile.
The frog's circulatory system has a spleen, which is a ductless gland that destroys old red blood cells and removes other debris from the frog's bloodstream. On the heart, they have a heart that is protected by the pericardium and has two upper chambers, the right and left atrium, and the lower chamber, which is the ventricle. Blood is carried to the heart through veins from lungs through the ventricle, which is pumped into arteries that carry blood away from the heart. Oxygen-rich blood and oxygen-poor blood have waste gases and products in the frog ventricle. In the rat circulatory system's heart, the heart is protected by the pericardium as well, but it has two upper chambers, a right and a left atrium, and two lower ventricles because it's a mammal. The right atrium has three main blood vessels that bring deoxygenated blood into the heart from the network of veins in the body. Blood from the left ventricle leaves through the aorta. In the veins, the oxygenated blood is taken from the lungs into the heart by the left and right pulmonary veins that enter the left atrium. In the arteries, blood is passed through the right ventricle, which is divided into two, arteries, the left and the right, that take deoxygenated blood to the lungs. The aorta divides into the innominate artery, two branches, which are right common carotid artery and right subclavian artery, and the aortic arch, two main branches sent off, which are the left common carotid artery and the left subclavian artery. The right common carotid artery carries blood to the right anterior part of the foot. The right subclavian artery carries blood to the right front of the leg. The right and left subclavian arteries divide into branches that take oxygenated blood to the thoracic cavity, vertebral column, brain, neck, and shoulders.